there are two sides, right? Buyers and sellers. And trading is a game of objectives, as I like to say. When buyers are in control of the market, price is making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. These are just standard characteristics of a buyer's market. But the objective aspect comes into play from a standpoint of liquidity, right? Price, a buyer's objective is to target the highs, right? These are where the liquidity is residing. This is where they get the ching-ching, objective complete. So when sellers are coming into the market, they have a different objective, and that is to make lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and lower highs.
Righty-ho, folks, here we are in Trading Up. We've got Emmanuel in the house. We've just done an epic podcast. You want to go and check that out. Now, this guy is a professional trader. He's been doing it since 2019, and he's about to share with you his entire strategy. So welcome back to the show, Emmanuel.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Folks, if you're looking for a prop firm at the moment and you want someone who's been around for ages, flexible, reliable, and has low profit targets, then check out my sponsors, Blue Guardian. So these guys, I've been trading with them for the last 8 months. They've been sponsoring the show for about that amount of time, and they even have guys on my live stream trading them as well. So what I've found is their commission seems to be lower than some of the competitors out there. So really great trading environment, and they offer now C-Trader and some other fantastic trading platforms as well. If you want to check them out, there's a coupon code in the description, or just use it, Trading Nut, all one word, and get 10% off at checkout. There's a QR code you can grab here as well. All right, folks, let's get on with the show.
Right now, what I'm going to be walking over is just a quick brief of my approach, or at least how I approach the market. So taking a look at gold right now on the hourly time frame, the very first thing when you come to the market is you want to understand who is in control, whose market you're walking into. So let's just say, we go over, I usually come to the market at like 7 o'clock, right? 7:30 is when I come in. I predominantly trade the New York session. So when I come into the market, the very first thing I'm looking for is, who is in control of the market today? What is price doing? And obviously today, I did trade today in my community. But the very first thing that I want to go over is the importance of establishing, who is in control of the market. When you come into the market, there are two sides, right? Buyers and sellers. And trading is a game of objectives, as I like to say. When buyers are in control of the market, price is making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. These are just standard characteristics of a buyer's market. But the objective aspect comes into play from a standpoint of liquidity, right? Price, a buyer's objective is to target the highs, right? These are where the liquidity is residing. This is where they get the ching-ching, objective complete. So when sellers are coming into the market, they have a different objective, and that is to make lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and lower highs, at least from a characteristic standpoint. But their objective is to take out the lows, right? And the lows are the target, right? And buyers, sellers target those lows. So for me, this is the foundational aspect of my trading. It is just market structure and focusing on the highs and the lows. I am not big. I have a deep understanding of supply and demand, a deep understanding of support and resistance, but very often I don't really put those on my charts just because the market tells me essentially everything I need to know from this standpoint. So right now it is March 13th. Gold is moving very well on the larger time frame, right? You want to start off on the weekly time frame and always see what is price doing, who is in control. It's a buyer's market. Buyers are taking out the highs, right? So the highs have been areas of, objective for buyers, and they've been successfully doing that. So when you come to the market, you want to be a buyer, right? Because as retail traders, we don't have the funds to move the market from a liquidity standpoint. So we have to get in with the hedge funds. We got to get in with the commercial traders, the big institutions, the banks who are actually moving gold or moving price, to its predetermined level with the capital. All right. So that's what I like to do. I like to come into the market, establish the bias for the day, and just go from there. So right now, let's say we're coming into the market. I'm a firm believer in doing the same thing consistently every single day and seeing what the market gives you. If I trade a New York session, I am predominantly coming in at 7:30. So after I've scale started from the daily time frame, I usually go over to the hourly time frame, the 4-hour time frame, and see what price is doing. So let's say right now we're taking a look at the 4-hour time frame, and we see gold prices making high highs and high lows, high highs and high lows. What this means as a trader is you want to be a buyer, right? That's your main objective. I know a lot of people are anticipating a beautiful sell for gold, and it may come, but it is important that you can't insert your bias in the market. You have to go with the flow of price, and the market has to be your teacher. So right now we're seeing that, hey, you know, buyers are still obviously in control of this market. From a market structure standpoint, we haven't taken out the low. When we start to take out the low, then you can say we've moved over to a seller's market. So as a retail trader, I'm coming in, I'm looking to be a buyer. That's it. So I go over to the 1-hour time frame. I'm paying attention to, okay, you know, what's going on, what happened during the Asian session, what happened during the London session coming into New York. We see this beautiful sell-off that we had the previous day. And right now, you know, I'm looking at each individual candle. This is 18. So this is around Asian, maybe like 6 p.m. The previous day. So the market has consolidated all the way through to the New York session today. So let's go over to the lower time frame to gain a deeper understanding of what's happening. So beautiful. So right now what we have is price essentially accumulating, right, all through the Asian session. And then as I come to the market, I like to pay attention as a New York trader what happened during the London session. And what we see here is at 5 a.m. Eastern time, right? The London session usually starts at about 2 a.m. Eastern or 3 a.m. Eastern. So I'm looking for the highs and the lows. If we are bullish, right? If we are bullish in the London session, I usually mark out the lowest point. And the lowest point was formed at 5 a.m. Eastern, my time. So I know that the London session is bullish, which means that there is a high degree that price will likely be bullish in the New York session. So as I come in right now, it's about, 6:55. Let's just say, let's mark this as our London low. Let's put that right there, London low. So we're building our bias, and price is broken outside of this accumulation. So the reason why I call this accumulation zone is, yes, it is a sideways market, and yes, you may know it as consolidation, but during accumulation, during a sideways market, liquidity is always still in the market. Sorry, orders are constantly coming into the market. So these orders need a time they need liquidity in order to be filled. So all these orders are still being gathered, and then at a particular time of the day when there's enough liquidity, like the London session, right, and the New York session, you're going to see the distribution of these orders coming to the market. So when I come in and I see that, hey, price is consolidating, beautiful. I see that as accumulation. I wait for the distribution, and then I wait for the retest. But today we're going to see if the market is going to give us a retest. We go over to the 1-minute time frame and pay attention to what price is doing on that level. So right now it's about 7:01. I'm still chilling, maybe reading. I'm not really focused on trading yet. I am coming in at exactly 7:30. So let's see what price is doing at 7:30. This is 7:15. 7:18. Okay, this is 7:21, and boom. So we're coming to the market about 7:25 right now, which is still standard. What we've seen is price has already tapped into this level. So this is pre-market, right? This is the market is like 7:30 is pre-market open for New York, or you can call it the New York Open. So right now I'm paying attention, and I've already built my bias. So I know that ultimately right now I want to be a buyer. But what am I going to be reaching for? What am I going to be targeting? The very first thing is when buyers are in the market, they're targeting the highs, right? Those highs are areas where they're targeting. That's the objective. Maybe if they're very ambitious, they can trade up to a level of support or a level of resistance right here, and maybe even right here. So these are areas that I'm keeping in mind from a higher time frame as I'm paying attention to the lower time frame to execute. We have accumulation here. We can call this the larger accumulation. We can also call this the minor accumulation that is currently happening right now, and see what price decides to do. So right there. So I'm not doing anything. I'm still sitting on my hands, and yeah. So ultimately here, okay. So we get a beautiful break above this level. This is where I might decide that, hey, Emmanuel, it's time for me to get involved in the trade. With this, I may decide to get to let price pull back, right? Sorry, let price to get involved right here, because price has broken this minor accumulation. But if we take a look at the 5-minute time frame, we can see that, okay, price didn't exactly trade. Let's see if the market, so price did trade in a little bit. So I'm just going to watch to see, okay, you know, what price decides to do. If I can enter here, or I can choose for a more favorable opportunity to get involved, which would be right here. Maybe like right here, I want price to trade back into this level, or at least relatively close to it, to see if the market is going to do that. And okay, so right now we're not getting that push. So we're going to see the market has already broken out. So this could be a great area for us to still get involved in a trade, because we got a little bit of the distribution. Price has broken out of the small accumulation on the 1 minute. So since my stop loss is usually 30 pips, I can probably afford to place my stop loss, to place my stop loss further. Let's say, let's go short. I'm sorry, let's go long. I can afford to place my stop loss, within this, down here as well, because I know if the market taps into that level, we can likely see some pretty decent push. So this would be around a 34 pep stop. And I'm going to be seeing, this would likely be somewhere around my first take profit. And, I usually just set like, an open take profit. Here we can maybe even go up of sort of like, okay, target this higher time frame objective here and see, what price does. It is about, 807 right now. So there should be more liquidity flowing into the market. The reason why I'm executing this trade is because we've gotten a little bit of a breakout and price traded back into this minor accumulation. But also my stop loss is below a larger accumulation on the 5-minute time frame. So if price does trade back down here, I know we can likely see a bounce to the upside. So I'm relatively confident in this particular trade. So let's say, okay, so beautiful. I'm looking for 30 peps. I want 30 peps to be my first take profit. Let's say from here, no, right, yeah. So right around there will be around 30 peps. Let's see what price, what the market decides to do. Depending on how I feel, I might exit the trade early, but before 30 peps. But right now, price didn't hit. Price didn't also take out this high as well. So now we're in drawdown, and we're seeing what price wants to do on this particular trade. So let's go here. There we go. So sometimes, depending on the day, the market might range a little bit more, and now price has hit the larger accumulation zone on the 5-minute and the 1 hour, and now we're essentially bouncing back again. So I could have waited for price to reach this level, but at the same time, I didn't know if the market would reach this level, so I chose to trade off of a minor accumulation zone. But nonetheless, my stop loss was placed at a level of interest. So right now, let's say we've gotten about 29 peps, right? And price traded down. So right there, I probably would be taking something off the table right now as price traded above this level and moving my second position to break even and seeing if price is going to allow me to get a home run trade, which is, a trade that is much much bigger. And what we're seeing now is price is essentially moving higher. So, this is where I start to get, I feel good. I close my, decide to like close right here. We've essentially, made around 75 peps on this particular trade. And so that's essentially it. So we could have taken something off the table, but overall, I've made money, put my stop loss at break even. I may have decided to take something off the table here before price hit my objective. But the main thing is to manage your expectations, right? Price may not always give you your entire objective, but it is important that you take something off the table, because the small wins will start to add up that way, and you essentially just make a killing. So that's how I do it.
Awesome.
Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Black Bull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Black Bull Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. That's right, get either the Essential, Plus or Premium plans absolutely free, and all you need to do is trade from one lot a month at Black Bull Markets. And you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below.
Brilliant. Well, look, that's a great little breakdown there, and I'm sure people can add that into their strategy, or at least have a look at it. Thank you once again, Emmanuel. Now, what's the best way for traders to get hold of you?
The Instagram, first YouTube. We're on YouTube. You can find me at LiftFreeFX, and that's our YouTube channel. We share videos weekly, add a lot of value. Instagram, Emmanuel_LiftFreeFX, and our website is also liftfreefx.com, and we have essentially everything. We have our community, our live trading, our community, the LiftFreeFX community, which just launched a couple of weeks ago, and it's a place where like-minded traders are, and we're doing what do you call it? You live chat. My brain is literally like we have a live chat where you can chat with me. I'm in there doing live trading sessions weekly, and members. So a lot of you're going to see me execute trades like this. You're going to see how I think, and you're just going to be able to essentially ask me questions. We also have our weekly live webinars, which you can essentially ask me anything, and you can also submit your trades for breakdowns. We have the accountability room, which is a place for you to be held accountable by the LiftFreeFX team or other members, and just gain a support system. I'm a firm believer in proximity, right? In order for you to be successful, you need to see it be done. You need to know that you can, and you need to be around the right crowd. And the LiftFreeFX community is a great place to do that. But you can check our website and see what serves you best. But yes, that's usually the best way to reach me.
Brilliant. Well, look, folks, we also did a podcast as well, so go and check that out. Now there is a link below the video to his show notes and the podcast and all the links he just mentioned. Whilst you're clicking on around down there, hit subscribe, like, and that notifications bell, and we'll see you in the next video.